Everyone. I just finished my chicken biscuit, so I didn't want to talk to y'all while I had a mouthful of food. And I believe Artemis is just about ready to join if I can find where they are, because this layout is different than what I am used to. I think I found them. Let's see.
Ah, can you hear me?
I found you.
Hello.
Whoa.
Can you hear
Every,
me all right?
I can hear you just fine, my dear.
Okay. Sorry, I'm messing around with stuff because this is a new place. So I'm looking at all of the things.
Oh, you can see all the things too?
No, I just have like my little settings. So I was looking at those to make sure there wasn't anything I wanted to change. Oh, what does this button do? Presentations, camera, local video. Okay, cute. Okay, we're
Yeah,
here in a new place.
everything's in different places.
Also, this isn't our music. I
What
gotta
I
go.
tell you, Ronald? What did I tell you, Ronald? First thing Ronald said was, "Oh, new stream deck, new music. I like it." And I said, "Artemis is not gonna like the music."
I spent so long picking out the music.
Well, if you have the files, I guess we can upload it again. But that's
I think they're
that's
somewhere on this computer. If not, I can go because I pulled them from the YouTube like free music library.
okay. Well, that's stuff we can talk about after because our audience does not need to hear all that. But yeah, because we need to rearrange the way we do things
Yeah.
since this is a new deck and the new background. I don't like the background, but because
Yeah, I can go.
I got used to the coffee beans.
Yeah, I think I do have that file, so I can so we can throw that up.
I don't think we can do it now
Oh yeah, not right now, but
because the way it's okay, y'all are getting a little bit of behind base, inside baseball anyway. The way it is set up is that
you have to do
since,
everything before
oh,
you
since,
start.
yeah, but also since we're doing the free situation,
Uh-huh.
then pretty much you're a guest. I think you got used to the fact that
I did. I had permissions.
you got used to the fact that you had permissions and you could just go in and change stuff. But when we very first started with Stream Yard, you were a guest and I had to do everything. And that's where we're back to now. You're a guest and I have to do all the stuff. We have to decide whether we want to
Yeah, stay
change
with
that,
it. Okay.
stay with this or change that or whatever. Because right now we're just feeling this out to see if it works. So I did not sign up for a paid plan.
Yeah. Because for anyone who doesn't know, StreamYard jacked up their prices and they no longer have a free version. So we're just we're figuring out what works for us.
Yep, yep, yep. Well, since I was the only one doing the puzzle today, I think we shall put the puzzle away. Let
Yeah.
me see how I do that so that we can get ready for.
I can't tell if Spectrum is coming for you or for me. It's
Oh no, I'm talking. I'm
it's glitching
talking
out.
to Restream.
I know, but it's like it's freezing a little bit, and I can't tell if it's on my end or if it's on your end because we since our power came back on, everything has been like,
No,
you know.
I think it's on my end because I keep getting a pop up that says, "Oh, Restream is trying to reconnect to the chat. Restream's trying to
Oh,
reconnect to the chat." I don't know. We've got this new internet.
yeah, I thought you just got the new box and everything.
We got the new box and everything, and um it was doing great for like a day or two, and then it started acting up. And so now today it's, well, no, let me rephrase that. I don't think I don't think it's the internet. I think it's this computer.
Okay.
Because my work computer over here has been a happy camper, and I haven't had any problems much working over here. And
Mm-hmm.
the things that the streaming, because we were having trouble like with streaming services on our TV. That's how bad the internet had gotten. And the streaming services are working fine and everything, but all of that's back to normal. We can even use our, Googles and Alexas and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff again, because we had to disconnect those for a while because our internet was crap. But this computer, but even before we changed the box, this computer started deciding that it did not want to behave
Want
like
to do
that, because
anything?
this was already an older computer, but your father
Mm-hmm.
had it spruced up a little bit and had paid somebody to add some RAM to it, because the drive is a 1 terabyte drive, and that's like the biggest hard drive
Mm.
out of any
Yeah.
device in this house. So
Yeah.
I wanted to keep it for the 1 terabyte drive. And I tried to go
But this
back to my
sucker
other
does
computer.
not want to keep you streaming.
Yeah. I went back I went back to the other computer for a little bit, because I tried to go back to the other computer because this one was acting up. And that one said, "Oh no, you put me out to pasture. We are not turning on at all
What?
now."
It said,
Because remember,
girly.
that one was working fine, but like the screen was broken in the
Mm-hmm.
corner. Remember we
Yeah.
talked about that? It was broken in the corner, and I had to kind of, you
Is
know,
that the same one that has the A key that doesn't work?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
the A key and the Q key and the QAZ all over on that side decided it didn't want to work for a minute. Well, now it decides that it does not want its screen to turn on at all.
Ooh.
It said, "You no, you put me out to pasture. We are done." So it is now in the closet, in the pile of dead laptops.
Oh
We have we
no.
have a we have a stack, literally.
Wild.
I can't even fit in the screen how high the stack is of dead laptops, because we don't really know what to do with them.
Can't
So,
you? I feel like people buy those for parts or something, don't
or
they?
there's like a recycling something.
Yeah.
I know in other countries, but we're getting off topic. But I
Yeah.
know in other countries you can like turn them in because they want to pull the copper out of them. I was
Mm-hmm.
just hearing a story about it the other day. They want to pull the copper out of them to use for other things, and so they have
Yeah.
a whole in the UK. They have a whole recycling campaign starting to turn your old cables and stuff in, so that they can take the copper out of them so that they can use them for other stuff.
We should.
So
We need to back up and do like a proper intro. We've been
we
talking.
do. I mean, we're still in the pre-show rambles, even though we don't have a
Yeah.
pre-show rambles thing.
We
I
just
know.
couldn't pull
I
out.
can see the tag says we will be in shortly. I see it.
Also, I don't like that it's throwing me off that the new comments come at the top instead of the bottom. So when I first came in, because before the new comments would show up at the bottom. So when I first came in, I was like scrolling down. I was like, what in the world? No one, I guess no one's really saying anything. And then I
My new comments are at the bottom. I don't know what you're looking at.
what? No, how do I fix it?
My new comments are at the bottom.
All of Ronald's comments are showing up at the top, so it like slides in and pushes everything down.
Yeah, we are playing music. I ticked it down because I get distracted when there is music going, but I can tick it back up.
Okay, change all the stuff.
So nice, Ronald. I've got the wild hair going on today, but thank you.
It looks good though. Did you do a twist out?
Kinda.
I can
Ronald,
see some like defined
thank you for
curls.
mentioning that, because I wasn't sure if I had it right.
Oh yeah, you're mirrored. I was gonna say something later, but yeah.
So my pictures for you are showing
If
on
I'm
my left-hand side.
if I'm looking at you, your pictures are currently on my right hand side, but they're usually the pictures and the little coffee are usually on my left hand side. The problem is I don't know if I'm mirrored for you either.
Okay. That's so confusing to me.
Am I mirrored? Oh yeah. I can ooh, ew, I hate it.
That's how you usually are for me. Right where you
Ye-
are now, that's how you usually are for me.
Okay, so the problem with this is that I think thank you, Jenny. I think that in we're just gonna be talking shop all day, I guess. I think that in StreamYard, even when you mirror your camera, it doesn't mirror it for you, which I like because right now I see that sprite in the back, hashtag not spawn. I see that sprite in the back, and the sprite is on my right hand side looking at it. But if I raise my right hand, it's over here. So it usually, yeah. So I think StreamYard mirrors it for me so that I'm not confused about where the heck I'm pointing in the back of my room.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like it's over my left shoulder. I see it over, it looks like it's over my right shoulder in the camera, but this is my right side. It's so confusing.
Okay, what did I do? Did I break something? Oh,
Did you break something?
Okay. Oh, so you heard me say that. Okay.
I did.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for the proper coffee Klatsch thing to show up.
And since we're not adding
No.
Instagram, there's no countdown or anything, so I can just go ahead and get started.
Uh-huh. Also, I might switch to adding TikTok. We'll see. Can we add TikTok with this?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
So I can take down the pre-show rambles now that I just figured out how to put it up.
Yep. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay, hide that. Do that. Okay.
Do I have a little, I wonder, if I turn my camera off, do I have a little, I'm messing around with stuff down too. Do I have a little, ew. Oh, I need to put a picture in there.
Yeah, I had to put a picture in mine too. It's like I don't remember having to put a picture on StreamYard, but I guess we were using StreamYard so long that I forgot some of the stuff we did.
Change avatar. Please let me have a picture sitting on my computer.
Because I had to grab a picture to put on mine too.
Let's see. Oh, I have my exact picture that I used before.
Although my picture, I can't remember what my picture was I used before, but I think my hair was shorter in the picture that I'm using now. But I'm just good. Do I have everything? Do I have everything? Are we leaving the music on or turning it off?
I like having the music on. I just wish that we had a secondary music to play for when we're proper streaming. I don't know. I feel like it makes it easier for, not that we have just like billions of followers scrolling through, but I feel like it makes it easier for like someone who's watching or like listening in the background to like, oh, they're talking about stuff. Oh, they're starting the real thing. Like, you know, because you hear the different background music. Also, what is this? Lo-fi nonsense.
No, the other one was lo-fi. This is chill hop.
What's the difference?
This is all I get for free.
Okay.
AI generated.
It's too laid back, Ronald. When we start the stream, I want that busy, you're walking on the street trying to get to your coffee shop because you're running late for your meeting with your friend. And then we start talking and it's, oh, we're sitting in the coffee shop. It's so chill. We're drinking our cappuccinos and talking shop, talking business. I'm thinking of a phrase, I can't think of it now. Scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt.
It's my favorite.
Oh, good Lord. Let's get this started. It's already 10:25. Okay.
Oh. Before we start
What?
for real, I want to do the thing today.
Oh, you want to do the intro today?
No. Just the thing.
Oh, the thing after.
Yes.
Okay. And I came up with a book for nothing. Okay, I'll save it for next week. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday Coffee Klatsch. I know that we've been gone for a while, but for those of you who are joining us for the first time and want to know what we are, first of all, who we are, I am Dani, the delighted.
And she froze.
And this is my partner in crime.
Or Maya.
And if you want to know what we are everything and nothing. We are your audio ambiance. We are your background sound. We are here to keep you company while you're doing laundry, chasing after children, all the things.
And you, the daughter of the police chief and the owner of the only Dalmatian on Turtle Island, North Carolina. You think you have the only Dalmatian on Turtle Island, North Carolina. But be careful, because I know you're on the beach doing your yoga with your seniors right now. A new fireman has moved in, and he also has a Dalmatian. It's going to be scary for a while. You might accidentally light someone on fire. I promise it's going to be okay, and he's not going to be like that other fireman that you dated. And that, friends, is from...
Your real life?
No, absolutely not. I own no Dalmatians. That, friends, is from A Spot of Trouble by an artist, the author that I can't remember because I read it in my neighbor's Reader's Digest when our power was out.
It's so weird to hear you doing a romance.
It was so cheesy and cute. It was so heavy-handed, but in like a funny, fun way of like, she was so mad at him, but he was also so handsome. Like, what?
Now you understand why I enjoy them. I'm not pretending that they're great art. It's just fun. Like, I just thought, like, popcorn is not dinner, but it's still tasty.
It was just so like heavy-handed in the funniest way. And it was so good.
So, before we get started, do you have foods? Do you have drinks?
I have a flavored water beverage.
I also have a flavored water beverage, almost the same color as yours.
What water beverage are you drinking? I'm drinking Orange Crush.
Mine is pineapple mango.
That sounds good.
Walmart brand, the Great Value brand from Walmart. I like it a lot.
Wayne had gotten a mango peach. He got a pack of water flavories, and it had 3 different flavors in it, and 2 of them were like tropical surprise kind of flavors. No, one of them was like tropical surprise. One of them was like strawberry kiwi or something, and then one of them was peach mango. And so I'd been drinking the tropical surprise and the strawberry kiwi because I know that Wayne loves mango. But I was like, oh, can I try one of these? And I tried one. Turns out I felt so bad because I was like, I'm going to have to waste this water bottle because this is so gross. I hate it. I hate like peaches, like real peaches. I like peaches. Like on occasion, they're like a 3rd tier fruit for me. But but artificial peach flavor, I was trying to drink it, and I honestly am proud of myself. I got through half of the bottle, and then was just like, and it wasn't like one of these little baby bottles. Uh-huh. It was my big boy bottle. But I got through half of the bottle. I got through like half the bottle, and was like, I can no longer drink this. I'm going to heave. It's so gross.
Oh no.
I hated it. I was so mad. It was so gross. And Wayne couldn't drink it because he doesn't drink, like, he was putting all of his drinks on ice, and at that time we didn't have any ice, so he was like just using the leftover coolness from the freezer, from when our ice had melted, and so he couldn't drink it either because it was like low-key kind of hot, honestly. Like, it was like a little warmer than room temperature. It was not the thing. It was gross. I can't type the comments anymore. I need permissions. I'm seeing everyone's comments, and I normally comment aloud, but sometimes I want to type, and I need permissions to mess with stuff.
I know, it's sad.
I'm over here getting notifications from Ribbler. Oh, I gotta figure out how to turn this off. Okay. Oh my goodness, and videos are playing? Get out of here. Let me turn the volume down on my phone. There we go. Okay. Are you frozen? Not again. How is... Are you back?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
My computer is lying to me because I have the Ethernet cable connected and it's telling me there are no connections.
Ooh, just straight up lies.
And my box over here, my new, I don't know if you can, am I turned in the right direction?
With the little blue light.
Right here.
That looks like my box.
Do you have a blue light like that? You have a box like this?
I do.
We just got it.
Yeah, mine works good, but we also pay like $120 a month for internet.
Okay.
Oh, what?
So grandfathered in like old before. Usually when you're grandfathered, then you get a cheap plan, like my $35 for my 10 gigs of
for your phone,
data on my phone. But we're grandfathered into a bad plan. It's like they keep because we had like a little bit of stuff, and then as things came along, like, you know, when Roku came out, we needed to add more. Because I mean, we've had our services before Roku streaming services existed. So every time something new came out, like, oh, you know, you can download games on your Xbox now instead of having to have the disc, and you can stream movies and also every time stuff like that came out,
you had to add it.
We'd add a little more bandwidth to our plan so that we could be able to stream the things and do the things and all that other kind of stuff. And I think they just added stuff on top instead of like switching us to a new plan.
Ooh, yeah, so, you got grandfathered in. You need to grandfather yourself back out.
And plus we have, well, your father said he was going to take care of it, so I'm not calling and messing with it. But plus our phone, and we still have cable TV because your father can't live without it. So we pay roughly $250 a month.
I thought we were paying a lot.
Yeah.
Jesus Louises. I'll figure out after, we'll talk about this after the fact, but I'll figure out what plan that we're on, because Wayne and I pay for like
Ew.
Yeah, I was reading Ronald's comment. What is whey? Also, cheese.
Whey is like when you make cheese, the water that comes off the cheese.
Ronald, he could have forced you to use that whey in something else. Something that's not oatmeal. Could you have used it for grits? Because cheesy grits would have been. I hear the people like cheesy grits.
Cheesy grits are good.
Yeah, you maybe use the
whey for cable internet.
Ronald's internet is only $76.
Oh my god. But he only has
Ronald.
He only has 2 people in his house though, and he doesn't have cable.
How many people do you think are in my house, and do you think I have a landline? To be fair though, we did get.
No, you don't have the voice over IP phone on your plan, do you?
No, we don't have the voice over IP phone. We do not have cable. To be fair though, we did get our high speed internet when we did still have a roommate living in the house, because all of us play online games and watch videos and stuff. And so we jumped up for that.
Yeah, see, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have. He doesn't have TV on his.
So I don't have TV on mine either. We literally have just internet.
The huge plan. We have cable TV on ours. The huge plan that lets you. We have video, Showtime, that kind of stuff on our cable, but we have all the, above the, because the tiers where you have just like your local channels, then just a few more than your local channels, then just a few more than, so we're up there with everything before you get to the HBO and Cinemax stuff.
You need to evaluate what plan you're on.
And I've been telling your father this for years. I have been trying for over 10 years, no exaggeration. I've been trying for over 10 years to get him to, ever since we got Roku, I've been trying to get him to cut the cable. Okay.
I mean, ever since, it's like not even just cutting the cable, just like maybe look at the plans, not the grandfather plans, but the new plans that include the cable and all of that stuff, and see if you can figure out a way to make it cheaper so he doesn't have to get rid of his cable, but you're not paying so much money.
And he said that he was going to do that. He just recently said, just like within the last week, he was going to do that. And he called because he finally called because I told you we got that email saying
that you got to change your box because it's 45 years old.
Yes, the box is too old, and here, come to the website and just let us know, and we will go ahead and send you the new one. And I went to the website, and it wouldn't let me do this. It said, "Oh, you don't really qualify for one." And so he said, "Okay, I'm going to call." So because I already have to call people for my job, I don't call people for anything else because I don't like talking on the phone. So he called and he got them to send the box, but I don't think he got them to do anything else with the plan.
Oh, okay. So he needs to call it again. Also, Ronald, I agree. Spectrum is really coming for her. I think it's the new box.
It's my computer
and the computer. Yeah.
No, it's the computer. Because this computer over here works fine. It's just this computer I cannot, the camera is broken on this computer, so I cannot stream off of this computer. This is my work computer that I'm pointing to over here.
We need to send you a USB webcam so you can use the nice computer.
Oh, this computer's not that nice. I mean, it's the work computer, but it's not that nice. It's pretty old. I've had it for it's at least 5 or 6 years, however long I've had this job, because it was brand new because my boss bought this computer.
But is the 5-year-old computer going to lie to you and tell you have no internet when you do have an Ethernet connected?
I don't know.
Because I don't think it will.
Or okay. Maybe it's just the cable. Maybe the cable's not working. I don't know.
So your life update is that you have a new internet box. My life update is, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I survived a hurricane. It was a lot. There were a lot of things going on. It was kind of scary, honestly. But we are getting back to normal for anyone. And Junie also survived the hurricane because Junie lives down by Lake Lure. But it went like, from where I was, it's so crazy to see the pictures of things that are literally just right down the road from us.
Well, before you get to that, I had a question occurred to me.
Yes.
That I didn't think to ask, because when we were talking to each other back and forth, I was trying to just get the important information out, because I didn't know if your system, how long your phone was going to work.
Yeah.
Because you didn't really have power to charge your phone, so I wasn't trying to just chat. But like,
yes,
the hurricane did not hit your building, but
Yeah.
that Thursday and Friday, I mean, what did it feel like? Did you have like, was it really loud wind outside your building? Were you worried that stuff might happen, or were you just sitting there and oops, my power went out?
So I'm pulling up videos and pictures right now because I have a pretty good like recollection through videos and photo. Um, First we're gonna see a cute picture of my dog. Let's see, share screen. How do I share things on this website? Okay, so I want to share my Google Photos. Um, I'll leave the audio on because I think in some of the videos I talk. So if I do this, and then will it automatically pull it in, or do you have to put it in? So I think you have to
Okay.
put it in. Okay, picture of my dog. She doesn't know how to sit on couches. That's the back of the couch. She, for some reason, likes to sit on the back of the couch instead of on the actual couch. Okay. So if I back up, okay, yes, you can see the whole thing. So that was my front yard. This is me looking out of my window. That's the room over from where I am right now, in the living room. This is my driveway. Those are my neighbors across the street. They're constantly doing construction, hence the little guy in the back there. But right there and right here, there are drains. And so instead of
Mm-hmm.
all of the water pooling up and flooding up into our downstairs neighbor's driveway, this drain got clogged pretty quickly. As you can see, there's a lot of debris.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's debris. It's just very fun to say debris. There's a lot of debris. But this is like, that drain is like huge. It's like the size of my head, maybe a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So it like went down in there and ran through. But it honestly just sounded like a lot of heavy rain and winds, because we did not go outside because our dogs don't like to, if it's raining, our dogs don't like to use the bathroom outside anyway. And so we tried not to go outside if we didn't like absolutely have to. So we like waited until we knew that they like really had to pee, and we would take them outside and everything. But when I took them outside, I got drenched. And then so that was Thursday. So the next day we woke up without power. But Wednesday, the day before, here we go. Is this the video I'm looking for? Man, I
I
do a lot
remember
of
you
like,
showing me, I remember you sending to the Discord, I believe,
yeah,
video of one of the roads being covered with water.
yes. So that is, so you can barely see in this video, I got absolutely drenched that day because we were at the Weaverville tailgate market, and since I'm the market assistant, have to help with like taking up signs and stuff. And so it started raining like 30 minutes to an hour before market was supposed to be over, and it started raining like hard, and I had to go outside and pull up the push-in signs. And so I, like, when I stepped out there, like I originally like walked out and was like, okay, I'm gonna get a little wet and like pull them up and then run back inside. First of all, the signs are like so far away from the door, like not very far away, but they're like down because they have to be by the road for people to see. And so I stepped out, immediately screamed because it was so cold, and then like just ran. And I was like, I looked like I had fully just jumped into a pool with my clothes on, like soaked to the bone, wet dog, like soaked. And then I'll show this video again. I may mute my audio if there's a way for me to do that. But ooh, I don't know if it's gonna work. But for anybody in the Discord, this is the video that was on the Discord of, yeah, the audio is already muted. But so that is Lake Louise, where the Weaverville tailgate market is. And you can see where the water is all the way up to the road and then goes over. It goes all the way over and it's like just rushing down here. And is rushing and rushing and rushing down here. I ended up driving through this because I had to go this way
I
to get
wasn't
out
even.
to go home. But yeah.
Oh, when you showed me that video, I wasn't even concerned because I don't watch the news, so I hadn't really.
Mm-hmm.
The Hurricane Helene really was not on my radar. I didn't realize that a hurricane was really
Yeah.
possibly going to hit this area till like Thursday or Friday, because I don't
Mm-hmm.
watch the
Yeah.
news. And so I don't watch the weather. And
Yeah, me either.
when I saw that road, I was like, well, roads in Lincoln County, because where I used to live as a child was like right up against Lincoln County, even though we were technically in Gaston County, it was right up against Lincoln County. So that we would often go in that direction instead of going into Gaston County for things. So I spend a little bit of time in Lincoln County. In Lincoln
Mm-hmm.
County, the the roads get like that every time it rains. There are a few roads that we have to pass over that every time it rains, there are two people whose houses are on either side of the road that like they have pretty much a lake when it rains, and then it goes over into the it's not a lake, it's not supposed to be a lake, but when it rains it
Yeah.
just fills up and then goes over the road. So I was like, okay, well that's normal. That's.
So I'm gonna pull in my thing again. Can you pull? Because I'm pulling in pictures of Lake Louise, like when it's not a disaster zone, because it was that's when I was like, oh, this is crazy. And everybody's like, yeah, and this isn't even the storm rains. This is like pre-storm rains. And I'm like, what? But the two exits to get out of Lake Louise, like both of the exits had been flooded, which is why, because that exit that you saw in that video that I took, that's not the exit that I normally take. I normally go a different way, but that way one had flooded, and they had a police officer posted there to like stop people from trying to go that way because of the flooding, or to like make sure that everybody's okay because of the flooding. And so I went the back way, and literally I went that back way, and right after I crossed over all of that water, they posted up a police officer with barricades making sure that people didn't go that way anymore. Like it was scurry. But let's see. So where's the picture I'm looking for? There's a picture of, there we go. There was a picture of the playground. I'm trying to see if we can get like a top down picture that's a good, okay, this is an okay picture. Okay, it won't make it bigger, but you can see the little bit of the lake back here in the background. The water had flooded all the way through the playground. Like it was up here. It had flooded all the way through the whole playground. And there was like, it was just a ton of stuff. But I was hoping I could find a better picture, but I just cannot find a better picture of like the area where I was to show you kind of how high the water was, because it came like, it was like normally it is several feet away from the road, and it came all the way up on the road. And I've literally never seen it done that in the entire like 10 years that I've been living here. But yeah, it was so crazy.
You've been living in Asheville for 10 years?
Honestly, I think a little bit longer. When was 2016?
Oh, no, stop it.
Or actually, no, 2014. When was 2014? That's when I started working off.
Stop it.
But so there was that storm and stuff, but I still like, I don't know why it didn't click in my head while I was at the Weaverville market. People were like, yeah, this is crazy, and that's not even the like hurricane rain yet. And so I don't know why it didn't click to me that like, if it was this bad just now, I need to prepare for the hurricane rains. But also like the power didn't go out, like none of that happened. And so I was like, okay, we'll just like hang out in the house. Maybe the power will go out, the power will come back on, and we'll like, and everything will be okay. Cause I guess, cause I also don't watch the news a lot. So I just didn't have a lot of people like the most warning that I had directly to me was my landlady sent an email out to everybody that was like, hey, the storms are going to be pretty bad. Make sure you have bottled water and some like granola bars, like snack food and stuff in case the power goes out. And so we got some like little snacky foods, but it was like, it ended up being so much worse than we had like even prepared for. Cause I also did not register my brain. I did not pay attention. I was on empty in my gas tank, whatever, like when I came home from the Weaverville market. Cause I came home from the Weaverville market. The next day was Thursday. I went to work. And then Friday, I don't normally go to work because we stream and I usually have like market prep and all that stuff. And and I woke up and the power was out. And so I went to Wayne and I was like, hey, just so you know, the power's out. And so we spent that day, the power was out. We're like, okay, we'll like hang out and everything. 2 weeks later, and we're like, when is the power gonna come back on? Because I texted so as soon as I was able to, because the power went out, but I still had cell service initially. And so I was like, okay. And then they switched everybody in our area to emergency, like SOS mode on our phones. And so they switched everybody or one of the cell towers went out. I'm still not sure how that works, but everybody in the area, no one had cell service. And which was crazy to me because I've never been in the kind of situation where my cell phone goes out. Because in my head, I'm like, that is a completely separate thing that's handled by giant towers and satellites. And so nothing should be touching my cell phone service. And so when the cell service went out, that's when I was like, what is going on? Yeah, we had literally that picture that I showed you of my driveway, that is all the water that touched us. Like the water, and you could see it didn't even get like up to our car really. That is all the water that touched us. We were so blessed to be like in the area that we were. Cause I'm gonna see, I had some pictures that I will never find those pictures. Oh my goodness.
And you had a lot of support, thankfully.
Yes.
You had people checking on you and coming by to bring you stuff, and so you were blessed.
Yes, because we had like literally the entire time people like, can I bring you stuff? What do you need? Can I help you? How can I help you? What do you need? And my mother had to spend a good week convincing my father not to drive up here.
Yeah,
because the whole. Go ahead.
He thought it did not apply to him. He was like, yeah, I know they said the roads are blocked, but I've got a generator and I've got a grill I can take up there and I can take her a case of water. And it's like, honey, and I know he wasn't really listening to me at first because I always err on the side of caution. So I'm always the person who says, well, no, maybe we shouldn't. Well, no. And he's always the person who says, well, I'm going to anyway. Mm-hmm. And so he wanted to do something. And honestly, if you had not gotten your power by this past Friday, I would let him go up there.
I might have to, because we had a couple.
Because it was already 2 weeks at this point. I was like, he can go up there and take you a generator. And I had already been seeing things posted on Reddit, on the Asheville Reddit about, if you go here and take this route and take this road and take this road, you can avoid all the bad spots. And I was going to send him that and say Godspeed, because they are sitting up there.
Yeah, it was so, because the first week, and part of our frustration was because they told us the power was going to be back on after a week. And so, and we I want to very much reiterate, the only issue that we had was that we had no power, because our water was still running, though we couldn't drink it. Our water was still running, so we weren't having to get buckets to try to flush our toilet.
And you still can't drink it, right?
No, we still cannot drink the water. And but the water is running. We couldn't drink it, but we didn't have to use buckets to flush our toilets or anything. And we live very close to one of the churches that was giving away a lot of stuff. So I could take my wagon that I use for market, and then me and Wayne and our neighbor walked up there, because she's an older lady. I want to say she's about your age. But I'm not going to be asking people.
You're calling me an older lady?
Older than me. Older than me. Right. So she wasn't having to walk up there and carry cases of water. We took my market wagon, walked up to the church, and we would put a case of water for each of us into the thing, and they had like canned food and all kinds of stuff up there. And so we would do that and walk down. So we had stuff that was very close to us. Luckily, our neighbor also, we like bonded. So luckily, our neighbor also, she had like 3/4 of a tank of gas. And so day one on like Saturday, when we found out that the power was going to be out for longer than like 3 days, and we were like running low on food because we had like all the stuff that we had in our fridge. We had like hamburger meat and fish, frozen fish and stuff like that. So one, we had to take all of that hamburger meat and frozen fish that was thawing out and getting gross and put it in a little plastic bag, or I think we put it in a paper bag, and like throw it out in the woods, like way down away from our house, so that the bears would go get that and not come ransack our trash. Because bears don't know there's a hurricane. Bears are like, ooh, it's time to get food and this smells good. So we threw that down there so we didn't have to deal with it. And then we didn't really have any other like much other food in the house that wasn't like that needed to be cooked. And so we drove out to Waynesville. We drove like an hour away out to Waynesville. Yes. And that first day, it was so weird and surreal because we were driving by like so many places that were like, because the water, it's not like just clear ocean blue water. It was like dirty, muddy river water that was like flooding everywhere. And so we would drive past places and see like entire parking lots covered in mud because of all the like sediment that got washed over by the river. We would drive by and see cars that were covered in mud up to the roof that like had been parked and got fully covered in mud up to their roof. And so you can and you can drive past places and see the mud like up on the buildings to see how high the water got. It was so crazy. But we drove out there and we stopped by one because we were trying to find gas stations so that we could, because we had we have a 2-gallon gas can that we own, and then our neighbor had gas in her car, so we were driving out to try to get gas so we could at least have that 2 gallons in the car in case anything happens. And so, because like I said, our car was on E. It wasn't like a little bit past E, which is where you need to like stop, but it was on E. And so we drove out. And we kept seeing gas stations where people were parked. And so at every gas station that we saw where people were parked, we would stop and like, hey, can we get gas? But because the power was out in literally so many places, like the power was out in such a large radius around us that we would get to these gas stations. And because the power's out, the gas station can't provide any gas. But there was one gas station we stopped at. It was so crazy because because we also all the like card readers were down. So we stopped at this one gas station and we're like, hey, are you able to get gas? I talked to the gas station attendant and she's, I'm like, are you able to get gas? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, do you know anywhere that has like food or anything around us? The restaurant connected to the gas station, which Wayne and I had seen like once or twice before. It wasn't like all the way on Waynesville. It was like, it was still like within the Asheville area. But the restaurant connected to the gas station was running their fryers. We think they had them on like propane or something, like gas, so that they could run their fryers and didn't have to do with the electricity. So they were selling chicken tenders and fries for everybody. And so everybody was like going into the restaurant, lining up at the restaurant in the dark because there were no lights on. Everyone was lining up in the restaurant in the dark and like paying cash. And luckily, thank the heavens for my markets, I still had like $120 in cash from one of my markets. So because all the ATMs were down, so there was no way we were getting cash anywhere else. So I still had like $120 in cash that we were able to use for that little excursion. So we got some food at the chicken place, and then we kept driving. And we finally, like, because the like street lights are out and everything. So we were like driving. And also because there's no cell signal or anything, we couldn't use our GPS. And so it was just this weird like nightmare scenario because I am one of my biggest fears is like just getting lost and never being able to go home. And
this is starting to sound like an episode of The Walking Dead.
It felt like it because it was also so weird because I was seeing people would walk to like I was seeing people like walking away from an Arby's with like 2 Arby's cups in their hands drinking like soda or something, and I'm like, everything is down. We don't know when anything's coming back on, and you chose to spend your few dollars on a soda. It was so like It was so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we spent our money on like a hot like meal, like it was a decent sized plate of like chicken tenders and fries, but like we also didn't buy any beverages. Like we had our water bottles with us and just got some ice from the ice machine that hadn't gone down yet, and like and poured water. So it was so weird. But we kept driving, and then all of a sudden we hit an area because luckily our neighbor knows well enough where like the general direction of Waynesville, and so we were heading in the general direction until we could see signs that kind of pointed us in the right way. But we were driving, all of a sudden there were stoplights, and we're like, traffic laws! What traffic laws? The stoplights are on. That means there's power. And so we hit the first gas station that we could, and they were out of gas because everybody had hit them already. And then we hit the second gas station that we could, and we waited in a line of like 15 cars. We waited in line.
I'm old enough to remember this, but I remember seeing gas lines in the 70s. Yeah, in the 1970s when I forget the historical significance, but I remember there was gas lines. Mm-hmm. That would be just like down the street.
Wild. Well, that's exactly what we had because that was literally, we kept driving and literally looked at every gas station that we could on the way over. And that was the first gas station that had power from where we were, was an hour away. And so like everybody that had a little bit of gas or had somebody that could drive them was driving out that way. So we got in line. Also, this is for everyone listening. This is probably all we're going to talk about today because I have a hard out at 12 because I have to go back to work. My job is open.
That was going to be my question. I was trying to wrap you up to like where are things going now? Are you going back to work? What's the issue? What's going on?
I will finish the story and then I'll wrap it up. But TLDR on that is yesterday I got a text in the group chat that the power is on at work. Today we are on schedule. We are going to work. So I'm going to work today and then I'll be back to closer to my normal schedule later. But I am going to work today when normally I don't. Normally I go to the Weaverville market, but I'm like, let me get into work so they know that I'm willing to go to work during everything. And then I will say, hey, maybe don't schedule me on Wednesdays. But so we drive out, we get to that first gas station, we wait in a line of 15 cars, we get up to the pump, they're out of gas. They run out of gas like 2 cars before us.
Oh no.
Before we get in line. Yes. So we had to we got directions from somebody and they're like, if you just go like this way and there will be another one. And so we drove even further to another gas station. That one we waited in another line of, it was like, there were like 7 cars when we got there in line. But as we were standing there waiting in line, like 6 more cars lined up behind us. But we get there and we can get gas there. So we fill up our car, we fill up the gas can, and we're like looking across the way from us as we're like, or as we're waiting in line. And there are people filling up like 6 or 7, like we've got a little 2-gallon gas can. There are people filling up 6 or 7, like huge gas cans. It's like enormous. So they're clearly bringing back gas for other people. But so we get the gas and then we ask this guy who's working there, who's wearing like a D&D shirt. He's got like a Beholder D&D shirt. And we're like, hey, do you know if there are any grocery stores in this area that like take card, or if there are any like grocery stores in the area that are open? And he's like, yeah, there's an Ingles right down such and such way. And he like directs us. And we're like, thank you. And thank you guys so much for being open. He's like, I'm gonna work here. He was fully just standing there hanging out, helping people, and did not work there.
Oh my goodness.
He was so confident. It was very clearly a situation of he hangs out at this gas station all the time because he was so confident. And he was like, because when we first started trying to fill up the gas can, the gas pump wasn't working. And he's like, oh, well, let's just do this. And he's like, oh, it's still not working. Okay, give me a second. Let me go inside. And he goes inside, comes back out. And he's like, it should be working now. She just reset it. And then it started working. And so we were like, clearly he works here. He did not work there. But he pointed us down to an Ingles. So we drove down to the Ingles and parked. And we wait in a line outside the Ingles. They're like keeping lines outside of the grocery store building so the store doesn't get like fully packed and people fighting and stuff. So they have a like 1 in, 1 out policy. in the grocery store, which I've never seen. I've never had to stand outside of a grocery store to get in the building.
They were doing that during the pandemic. I mean, not that I personally saw it because, I don't leave the house, but I remember stories of them doing that during the pandemic.
I never saw that during the pandemic, but I also think we did some like door dashing and stuff. So we didn't like go out or anything. But yeah, I don't remember that. But so we didn't do door dashing because we were still living in Mars Hill. I don't know what we did, but I don't remember seeing that. Mars Hill is also a much like smaller town, so maybe that's why. But so we get into the grocery store and we like ration what's left of our cash, and the like I think our landlady had like $40 of cash. We filled up her tank for driving us out there, and then we had like $60 left, and she had like $40, and so we like bought food and stuff and drove back. But as we were driving back, it was like right downtown Asheville had power. I don't know how they had power, but like literally 5 minutes away from me, street lights are on, buildings have lights on, there is power 5 minutes away from me. But then if you drive another 5 minutes, or 5 minutes in the other direction, Biltmore was underwater, and the River Arts District underwater. Like we drove past an exit, and the exit was blocked off, and if you look beyond that exit, you could there was maybe 3 car lengths worth of road, and then it was just water. And if you looked further out, you could see like the top of a house, and the water was like up here. It was like almost like covering that. You could see the top of the house, and there were the emergency rafts like sticking out of the window of the top of this building. It was a very like harrowing scene, like very, I don't know.
I can imagine.
Very harrowing and surreal. And so that was like the biggest like event day really, was day 2 when we drove out to do all that. And then the rest of the time we just we stayed home, we read a lot of books. Because downtown had power, there were several restaurants that were giving out free food downtown so that people could have hot meals. And so we would like talk to our neighbor the night before, figure out when we're leaving, get up in the morning, and they were doing like radio broadcasts at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. So we get up, meet our neighbor downstairs at like 9:30 or whatever, go out, listen to the radio broadcast while we were driving, and then we'd go to her friend's house and charge our devices. And that place also had Wi-Fi, like free Wi-Fi. So I'd hop on the Wi-Fi, message some people, and use up all of the power that I was getting. But message some people.
That sounds like Zombies Run when you said radio broadcasts at 9:30.
Yes,
Zombies Run.
I kind of want to play Zombies Run again. I always think about that game because I get notifications every once in a while. It's like, do you want to renew your subscription on this? But yeah, Zombies Run is one of my favorite games. I also just don't get out and do much walking. So, and we don't have like a treadmill or anything. Otherwise, I would. I need to find a good like flat place to walk, because if I try to walk outside of my house, it is like vertical hill. I'm going to die. I need like a flat walking surface if I'm going to do a lot of walking. Anyway, we went to, I do want to call out the places that were giving out hot food, because they were like so great. Twisted Laurel in Asheville downtown, they were giving out hot food, and they like rotated the menu. The first day they had burgers, and then they had pasta, and then they had like biscuits and gravy, like breakfast food. So, and they specifically were giving out desserts for people as well. They had like brownies and cookies and like little dessert things. So that was fun. Twisted Laurel, and they had a charging station. So Twisted Laurel in Asheville, they were great. Strata in Asheville was also giving out free food. I think not many people saw that Strata was giving out free food. They had like a little bit of trouble getting out signage, but they were also giving out free food. They were like an Italian place. They had like pizza, but they also had like chicken tenders one day and stuff like that. They were like, obviously everybody's doing really simple food that they can like make easily and give out to a lot of people. But Strata was giving out free food, and they also had some nice desserts. They had like a little like tiramisu in a cup kind of thing, which is cute. And they were giving out free water as well. So Strata was great. Old Europe they had their like window open, and they were giving out like they had like snacks and stuff at their tables, but also Old Europe gave out hot coffee. How they made this coffee hot, I have no idea. Old Europe was giving out hot coffee, which like was so good because we were drinking cowboy coffee the whole time, where you just like put the grounds in and let it. Wayne was putting the grounds in, let it soak overnight, and then in the morning strain it through. And we were drinking.
So that's pretty much cold brew.
Yeah, but
that's how you make cold brew, because I've made cold brew before.
But also, you know what you can't have when you don't have power in your fridge isn't working? Liquid creamer. We had to use
powdered creamer.
Yeah, and try dissolving powdered creamer in a cold coffee.
Yeah.
You try dissolving powder. So Wayne was doing this thing where he would like take a water bottle, drink, like he would like pour half of it into like one of our reusable water bottles or whatever. And then he'd put some of the powdered creamer in, put some sugar in, and like shake it up to like mix the creamer in with the water. And then we'd like pour that into the coffee, and it worked.
You never want to do that again,
No.
do you?
No, I do not. No, I do not. But Strata, Old Europe, and what's it called? Oh, why am I fully blanking? Why have I completely forgotten the name of this place? It's a pizza place. Oh my goodness, because everybody was lined up. Why could I not think of the name of this place? I'm gonna have to Google it, because that's gonna drive me crazy. Because I really want to call them out, because they were giving out full pizzas for people. Why am I not? No. What is the name of this place?
So
Mellow Mushroom. Oh my goodness, I fully like blanked. Mellow Mushroom. Because I was like, they have all these like weird, like cool alien statues in their like restaurant. Mellow Mushroom was giving out free full pizzas, but Mellow Mushroom, I think because it was pizza and because that's the kind of thing that like you eat hot and then can also sit on your counter. Mellow Mushroom, we had to get up so early to get a pizza from Mellow Mushroom, because every other day that we tried to go, we would walk down there. Thank you, Ari. I'm glad that you remembered. It came in a little late because of the delay, but thank you, Ari. But we went down to Mellow Mushroom, because Mellow Mushroom is right down from Old Europe and also right down from Strata. So we like would go and charge our stuff at Twisted Laurel, because they had the charging station, and then we would walk down to where Mellow Mushroom was. Mellow Mushroom, like this is the building. It came out in a normal like line making stuff, and then up the sidewalk, and then all the way up past the building was the line of people waiting for Mellow Mushroom. And half the time they were, because this was before it started to cool down, so those people were waiting in the sun, like in the heat. It was because some of those days we were walking around Asheville and it was hot. And so there was one day that we're like, we are going to get some Mellow Mushroom pizza. And so we got up and left. Like most of the places didn't start giving out food until 11. We got to Mellow Mushroom at 10 a.m., like an hour early, and still weren't even the first people in line. We were like,
oh my goodness.
I
guess since, most people couldn't go to work or anything, they had nothing better to do than stand in line at Mellow Mushroom. So, well, I'm glad that you have your power. I'm especially glad that you got your power before it started to cool off, because it is starting to cool off now, as you can see from this towel I've got wrapped around me, which is another story. But so the bottom line is, y'all are going back to work.
I'm going back to work. Wayne's job has not contacted him yet. We don't know if his job has power.
Okay. What does your job expect that you're going to do? You work at a place that is casual at best.
I think they're fully just opening so that we can get paid. But we've been hearing like people have been driving like from Asheville to Party Cities and the other, because we're like one of the manager that was there when I first started now works at a Party City like further away, because she moved to like South Carolina or Georgia. I can't remember which one. And she has said that she has seen, and then also people from the other managers have seen people from Asheville driving to the people from the Asheville area, driving to these further away stores to get party supplies from other party cities. So
I guess if you're in a part of Asheville that never lost power, or you only had power lost for like a day or two, then you're going on business as usual. Because I'm sitting here thinking the entirety of, and I'm thinking of places like Chimney Rock and Marshall, which practically got washed off the map. So I'm like, who's throwing parties? Well, I guess if you're in the part of Asheville where your building didn't get touched, like your building didn't get touched, and if you didn't lose power, and if your job didn't lose power, then you're just going on as usual. So you're going to have your birthday party.
My neighbors across the street, during everything, while we were like halfway through week 1 or week 2 of not having power, were prepping to go to a wedding. Like there were people that were still like, there was somebody who was still having a wedding, I think in the area they were having a wedding. But also my neighbors across the street, they were like, one, because we also found out that our water was running literally right up the road from us. Everybody else didn't have water. So we were just so lucky in where we were.
Mm-hmm.
But and yes, Halloween is coming up, so people got to get their Halloween stuff. I'm skipping over Halloween and crocheting stuff for Christmas, but people got to get their Halloween stuff. But our neighbors across the street, they had running water. They still were, that little like machine, the little claw scoopy construction machine, like they were still renovating their backyard while we had no power. We could hear at night, our lights would go off, their little solar lights would turn on. I'm like, okay, those are solar lights. They have a big like overhead light in their yard that would turn on every night. And I'm like, don't taunt us that you have power, because we could also hear their generator running. We could hear their generator running every night. And I'm like, they're just business as usual. They're just functioning as normal. Like it seemed like nothing changed. They still had their gardener out there, like working on their yard. Like they're just functioning business as usual. Yeah. It pissed me off. It pissed us off so much. Because like after week 1, because we were told after week 1 we would have power. And then when we didn't, we were told, oh yeah, 3 days from now you'll have power. And then they stopped giving us an estimate. And so after that, we were like getting a little cranky.
I can imagine. Because you were at first, calling, texting me every day. Here's the update. And then a couple times toward the end, I'd like I wouldn't hear from you. And then your father would be like, have you heard from her? And I'm like, no, I haven't heard from her. And so then I texted and you're like, oh yeah, I didn't text. I'm sorry.
Because literally, like the first 2 weeks, like stuff was happening. Like we were going out, we were getting power, we did this, and like, oh, I contacted this person, blah blah blah. But those last, like, I want to say 3 days, literally nothing happened other than me sitting at home moping and like trying to crochet and just like being so frustrated.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know, like if the power had been on but we had no Wi-Fi, or like even if I had good signal at the house, because we don't have good signal at the house. And so even though I have data, I can't really load anything on my phone or anything. And that's so I'm having to, like, where we walk up to the church, I screenshotted a bunch of crochet patterns and then would bring them home and physically wrote out the crochet patterns by hand. So I didn't have my screen on my phone forever. I've got my little crochet book beside me. I'm going to grab it. I've got my little crochet book beside me. Oh God, I'm going to fall. But I made this book like forever ago. This was just an old sketchbook, but I made it forever ago. I put like spongy stickers and then used hot glue to make the spider webs. And then
cute.
The bats were little like kids bats rings that you give out like around Halloween or whatever. So I glued them over, and then I did a craft, okay? And I painted the purple on the side so it looks like a spell book, or honestly kind of like a Bible. Bibles are the only books that I see that have like the gilded sides like that. But I was originally like aging the pages so they looked all like old and fun, but I stopped doing that because it started tearing apart the binding of the book. So I had to re-glue the book together. But I've got like, these are sticky notes so I can have scrap pages for like keeping track of what stitch I'm on. But that's like my witch hat pattern, and like I just wrote out a bunch of like patterns by hand in my like little shorthand.
Cool. That reminds me of I don't have it in front of me.
Oh.
I have you know those composition books. They used to come in
Yes.
black and white
The like
speckle,
black and white.
you know, and now
Yeah.
you can get them with like pink or green or whatever. I have a pink one, and I started using it several years ago to because usually, like when I worked in an office, I would print out patterns and then I would just mark my place on the pattern. You know, I print out patterns at work and I would mark my place on the pattern and then I'd like throw the pattern away or whatever.
Yeah.
And then after I stopped working in an office, I'd get patterns either like on the internet, I'd see a pattern, or in a book or a magazine, and I would just take a scrap piece of paper and kind of mark my place. But sometimes that would get lost, you know, like I put it in the bag with the project, but then it might get lost or whatever. And then I finally decided, by then Ravelry was a thing, and I felt like, well, I don't really need to make because some people still make physical project books, just like some people make physical book journals instead of using Goodreads. And I'm like, well, you know, these digital things exist. Why do I need to do paper? But then I finally, a few years ago, gave in and said, you know what, I'm going to make a notebook where I at least write down the name of the project, when I started it, what yarn I was using, what hook I was
any
using,
of that.
what hook I was using. And because what happens with me is that I'll start a project and I'll get to a certain part. Usually I'll stop when it gets to a fiddly part or when I want to work on something different or whatever. And then it may be 6 months to a year before I get interested in that project again. But then it's like, well, I don't know where I left off. So a lot of times I'll just rip it all out and start over. And I may be halfway through the project, but if I can't figure out, and I can read my knitting and my crochet to a certain extent, but if I can't figure out where to pick back up, then
you gotta start fresh.
Gotta start over. So I started using a book as well for, you know, so for like slightly different reason than you, because I don't write the whole pattern down, but I write down the particulars of the project and maybe even like what bag it's in or whatever. And then I can write also changes, like when I was working on that shirt that I made for vacation, you know, changes of, oh, I did this and then I did that.
Yeah, I wrote down the patterns basically as is, and then there are little like places in the side, and I also wrote down like where I got the patterns from. So I like, this is for a bottle holder, I wrote it down, and then I wrote which direction am I wrote down Ravelry, so I know like if I need to like look up the actual pattern later, that's where it is. And I wrote down like the proper name of the pattern. But I was so very frustrated. But what I was saying is I write like little alterations in the side, so I left myself a lot of side stuff, space on the side. I was so very frustrated when I did my first pattern that needed 2 pages, because I had like 3 or 4 pages of, I was able to write the entire pattern in 1 page. Like, this is the slouchy witch hat that I do. This is the entire pattern.
Oh, wow.
But because it has the repeats of like, because the once you get to the body of the hat, you do like 2 rows of double crochet, or two rows of half double crochet straight across, and then you do 1 row of increases, and it'll be like increase and then 4 half double crochet, increase and then 5, increase and 6. And so I have been shorthanding that for a long time anyway, because I make a lot of those witch hats. And so I skipped a bunch of rows in here and wrote like row 16 increase plus 4, row 19 increase plus 5, row 22 increase plus 6. And so that's how I like keep track of that, and was able to shorthand it a lot. But there are some patterns that I was not super familiar with that I wasn't able to shorthand, and I was very upset because I wrote the pattern down in my book, and then I started working on it, and then I realized, ooh, I could shorthand this now that I know it, but now it's already written in the book. But I have several things to show that I have made in the last little bit. It's going to take me a second because I forgot half of them in the living room. So I will be right back.
Okay, go get your stuff from the living room. So while
Also,
she's
when I
getting,
come back, Ronald, tell me what you're crocheting for your costumes. I've been looking at that comment and I have to know.
so while she's going to get her stuff, let me give my first yarny thought because I got a list of things for my yarny thoughts. I don't have anything to show, but I have a list of things that I've been thinking about. The first one is you may be wondering why I am sitting here with a bath towel around my shoulders, and that is because it is cold in here, and we're playing that little game of, oh, should we turn the heat on yet? Seeing how long you can go before you actually turn on the heat. So we're not turning the heat on yet, but it is 53 degrees outside today. It's chilly, and it was like in the 40s last night. And our house, I mean, maybe other people's houses are like this, but our house is like, if it cools down at night, it takes a while for it to warm up the next day if you don't have the heat on in the house. And so it was in the 40s last night. It was like 45 last night when I went to bed. So it's 53 now. It's supposed to get up to a high of 60, but it's not getting warm in here. And the heat is not on. And I went yesterday when I was working, um like when you go to the airport and or you take a flight, and and they give you like a little blanket that's smushed up, and it's not big, it's not much bigger, it's put over. Used to work for Sprint when Sprint still exists. I used to work for Sprint when Sprint still exists. I used to give those out with the Sprint logo on them as like incentive things. So we had several of those blankets. And so I was looking for one to put over my lap because I was wearing shorts yesterday. Because when I sit in bed, I prefer to have shorts on than long pants. So I had shorts on, and I was looking, but I came in here sitting in the office. I'm looking for a blanket to put over my lap. I can't find any of those small little lap blankets. I do not know what happened to them.
You mean there the American airline blankets?
Yes, American. Well, we have Sprint ones too because, your father used to work at Sprint.
He just gets a lot of blankets, huh?
Yeah, well, because they give them, the American Airlines ones, I think he just takes from the plane. But the Sprint ones, they were like incentive thing. He's always worked at places where they give you branded stuff.
Yeah.
To say, hey, you did a good job. Here, have a Sprint branded blanket. Hey, you did a good job. Here, have an American Airlines branded lunchbox. Where, they give you branded stuff.
I got that stuff at McDonald's.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm looking for a blanket, and I cannot find a lap blanket anywhere. But we have 11 bath towels. We used to not have bath towels, and it's kind of a sad reason now. But we had the same bath towels we had since we got married 30 some years ago, and we never really, because they were good bath towels, we never really had to replace them. We had them for years and years and years. They started getting raggedy, but over the last several years, we've inherited bath towels because we have cleaned out people's houses, who have passed away. So we've ended up with a lot of people's nice thick bath towels. So we have a ton of bath towels. So I'm sitting here wrapped in a bath towel because I can't find a lap blanket. And the reason this is a crafty thought is because I was just thinking to myself, and I think to myself frequently, I'll see a pattern for a cute like lap throw or something. It's like, oh, that's really cute, but I don't need to make that, and I have nobody to give that to. So I guess I'll skip over that pattern. Well, I think I need to make some lap throws because I can't find any in my house.
Low-key, I was thinking, because if you have a bunch of those American Airline blankets, if you like crochet a lap blanket and then sew it to the back of one of those American Airline blankets so it's extra thick. Ooh, we're going as hostess snack cakes. I will be a chocolate cake with the white swirly frosting, so I'm crocheting the frosting. Hubby will be a Twinkie, so I'm making 3 white fluffs. That's amazing.
My husband
order got delayed, so I couldn't make you what I wanted to make you. So I had this.
Room
And I got
service.
you a little packed lunch.
And packed lunch. I got a room service and a packed lunch. I got grilled cheese.
Oh, so sweet. Oh, I wanted a grilled cheese.
Well, I got a grilled cheese.
No grilled cheese.
And I got a packed lunch. I've
I
got.
have more syrup and waffles for breakfast tomorrow.
We're gonna have waffles for breakfast tomorrow. He said last night that he was ordering something that was gonna be a surprise. Oh, I'm so excited. But I've got a little packed lunch for work today. So I've got peanut butter sandwich crackers and seaweed snacks because those are on sale, and a chewy bar. And I'm gonna bring a Sprite for my beverage, a Sprite and probably a water bottle. Because I'm gonna bring a couple water bottles because we don't have water at work. I don't know how we're gonna flush the toilets, honestly. Hopefully I don't have to pee.
Yes, we have
Lacking.
I've heard them called lap gans before. But I keep thinking, well, I don't really need to make one. Even that blanket that I'm making out of the yarn that you gave me for Christmas, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this blanket. I just want to use the yarn that you gave me for Christmas, but I don't know what I'm going to do with this blanket. Well, I guess I'm going to keep it because I don't have any not just lap blankets, but for across my lap, but like right here across, because since I am a woman of a certain age, I can't just put on, because I've got my cute
I'm looking for
my cute Muppet pullover that your father gave me that has the pockets and everything. But I'm going to put this on, and 20 minutes later, I'm going to have a hot flash and I'm going to have to take it off.
Yeah, I was looking for mine because the blanket that I usually use to throw on my shoulder, you just have alarms all day. The blanket that I usually use to throw over my shoulder is the blanket that you hate, the like mauve and pink one. I must have moved
tacky blanket.
I must have moved it to another room when we were, because we did a lot of camping out in the living room. Yes, it's my favorite. But
I don't know why it's your favorite, but yes, my husband. Commenting on Ronald, my husband and I, when we were going through our sewing phase, we went in
as M&M's, my favorite costume that I've ever seen you guys in.
1 year, and we had.
I said you went as M&M's, my favorite costume that I've ever seen you guys in.
Yes, and that M&M was a pillow around our house. We should have bought more stuffing for that, because we didn't. When we bought the stuffing, we didn't realize that you would need a whole lot more stuffing. And it was enough stuffing for wearing it as a costume, because it kind of laid flat, and then all the stuffing sunk kind of to the bottom.
The green M&M was giving Slim Fast. The green M&M was giving Jenny Craig.
But how do you remember Jenny Craig? But the M&M, that M&M blanket was pillow was around our house for ages till it fell apart. Ages. Because we just took the straps off of the thing and just kept it around as a pillow. And the kids tossed it around for ages. We should make another one of those. But
I've grabbed all of my things.
You've grabbed all your things. Okay, show us your things.
I'm just going to try to do a bit of a speed run because I've got several things. So I did make some witch hats. This is, everything's covered in hair. Everything's covered in dog hair. And I've got yarn dropping out of nowhere. Oh no, hang on. Disaster. Oh my goodness, it's falling apart already. Okay. This is still connected to a yarn ball because I haven't finished it. So, witch hat. This is my Granny Square all-in-one yarn.
Oh, yeah, that all-in-one. Can I embiggen you?
Can you embiggen me?
No. What's that? Let's see. Can I embiggen you? I can embiggen you.
It matches my Sprite in the back. Oh, which way do I need it?
Yeah, it does match your Sprite in the back. But that looks good. That looks
I
good.
was afraid
And
they were
before
gonna
you
be.
show, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was saying I was afraid there were
But
going to be
before
like
I have
big
something
spaces.
before you think, but talking about that hat.
Okay, I was afraid there were going to be big spaces of black because the black is like the outer border. So there's going to be a lot more black than the other colors, but it worked out pretty good. I'm trying to see. I don't think I have any of the granny squares on me at the moment to compare because I have thrown them all away somewhere. Oh, there's one. There's one. Okay, there we go. But because the black has to go around, this is two sewed together that was going to be a bag and just never became it. But because the black has more, I was afraid there was going to be not very much of this and just a ton of the black. But it ended up like, I don't know, it looks just very cute and striking.
Yeah. I like it. Yes,
like
Ronald, stop. That's what I was going to mention after she said that. That's what I was going to mention. You're stealing my thunder, Ronald.
What?
Not that there's much to steal, but have you heard about the flower power?
No, what?
They have.
I've been away from the world for 2 weeks. What
they
is
have
going on?
They just announced it on Monday. They have a new all-in-one yarn that is by Ari.
Bye, Ari.
Hasta luego. But they have a new, I don't know if I can show it. Let's see. They have a new yarn called Flower Power. It's an all-in-one that makes a flower
Granny square?
Granny square, yeah. I'm trying to pull it up to see if I can.
The crochet girlies are going to be furious. They hated the granny square all-in-one. The crochet girlies are going to hate it. I'm so excited.
Well, I briefly watched a video from Crochet Crowd that said the
did they get rid of that chain two in the corner that everybody was losing their mind about?
Okay. Come up. That said, oh, I still have to go over here to, where's the thing that I have to go to? Oh,
Learning
crap.
processes. It's up.
Oh, it is? Okay. Okay.
I
so
love that.
Okay. So they yeah, when I saw the because they sent me an email that had a picture of a girl and she's holding 3 skeins of 3 different colors and it says Flower Power, and I'm like,
Spectrum is
really,
really
like, well, I can tell from the picture what it's going to be. You might as well tell me now. But yeah, so let's see if I can do that. There we go.
It's cute.
Isn't it though? And there's like 22 different colors.
Oh my goodness.
I thought, and there's 26 colors of the Granny Square all-in-one. I didn't realize they had expanded it to so many colors.
Yeah, and they've got aren't like half of them black border, half of them white border or something like that?
Yeah. This blanket that's in this picture, this is what I want to make.
All I can see when I see those Granny Squares is a pair of pants. Imagine a pair of pants with those.
They already have a pattern for a pair of pants, ma'am.
Oh, I gotta make me some flower pants.
They already have a pattern for a pair of pants.
Okay, but do that, but with all flowers and without the other Granny Squares interspersed.
Yeah. Because
that's not what I wanted.
So I was watching Crochet Crowd, that channel, and they said that the regular Granny Square all-in-one is you get 14 out of a skein, but this one you only get 12 out of a skein, but the skeins are the same size and the same yardage. The reason is that
it's a more solid Granny Square.
Well, no, he said it's because that it solves a problem that people had with the other Granny Square yarn, which is between each Granny Square, there is extra of the last color so that you're not going directly into the start.
Yeah, so you don't overflow.
So you're not going directly into the start of the next granny square. So you have enough yarn that you can like maybe sew the granny square up to another granny square, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I like that.
So like the I'm trying to change it on the wrong screen. What am I doing?
I do that too every time.
But like, yeah, this one has the blue on the outside. So there is like another length of blue once you get to the end of that before it starts back with the orange, so that you have room to fiddle.
And I'm assuming that these colors match colors that they already have in their arsenal, like, is the only word I can think of, in their catalog.
I don't know if they do or not. I have no idea.
Because that blue is very similar to that big skein of blue that I keep buying and hate because I never use it for anything.
Well, if the blue that you hate is that shade of blue, that's a nice shade of blue.
It looks close to it. No, the blue that I have it's a bit more of a purple blue. I've got a half finished project here this is not something that I worked on during the power outage. This is just an unfinished whip. But this is a bit more purple toned blue. This is like a periwinkle, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming because like if they leave enough to sew it, because like what if you need to sew it on 3 sides? Like, are they leaving that much?
I don't think they're leaving that much, but he said it leaves enough for you to sew it. I feel like it leaves enough so that you don't run into the next square too quickly. That's what I feel like it's for. And you can use it to sew if you want to, but yeah, it's going to sew on one side. So you're still going to have yarn to sew the rest of it, I feel like.
I'm going to continue going through my bag of stuff because we are getting close to time. I made another witch hat. Look at how cute that is.
Cute.
That was just another like skein of whatever. Oh, and the reason there's still a ball of yarn attached to that first, the granny square witch hat is because I was playing yarn chicken and I lost on the very last round. So I'm going to have to do a last round of black. And I was out of black. I made a lot more of these, but I think they're in the bottom of my bag. I made some crochet scrubbies.
Yay!
And they're thick. They're double. So I basically made.
I think you were asking me how to make those last time, weren't you? Yeah.
I was.
Yeah, that's the kind that your Aunt Terry likes, where it's like basically two circles sewn together.
Yeah, well, I did it all in one. I did not do 2 circles.
Oh, I do it all in one too, but it's that thickness. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is
the Red Heart Sparkle.
Yes, this is Red Heart Scrubby Sparkle and just a rogue cotton yarn that I had in my house. So I held it double stranded because the sparkle is not, even though it's like I think listed as a 4, it's not thick enough to crochet by itself, I don't think. So I held it together with a cotton yarn, and we use one in my kitchen. And they work out pretty well because they like hold the water because of the cotton yarn, and they'll hold like soap and stuff, and so you can scrub. I did get a little offended because I put one of my scrubbies that I made in our kitchen, and then as soon as all the stores are coming back on and we can order stuff from DoorDash, somebody decided to order a set of scrub daddies, and I'm like.
I have had both in my kitchen.
Am I nothing to you?
Anyway. I've had both in my kitchen.
Anyway, he is forgiving because he made me food. And this is, so I texted you at some point asking you if you could test out some patterns for me.
Yeah, and you never got back to me, but that's okay.
I'm still working on it. Because I wanted to send you a few things, and so I have like one. I'm trying to send you a few things, but so one of the festivals that I know that I'm still doing this year is the Fermenting Festival, because that is in November. And so I am getting ready for that. And so for the Fermenting Festival, I usually make like some pickles and like some fermented things. This year.
Oh, cute.
And I made this up all by myself.
Oh, cute.
It's just a jar of kimchi. And, so I made, this is holding 2 strands of yarn together, which I know that you are not going to want to do. So what are these noises I'm hearing? What are you doing? And I can't see you in the background.
2 skeins of yarn together.
Anyway, so because I know that you're never going to do that, this is holding 2 skeins of yarn together. This is 3 skeins of yarn together for the little jar lid.
Oh!
I made a baby one, so this is just one. This is just 1 skein of each.
Baby kimchi jar.
Just a little kimchi. I've been throwing these around my house and like throwing them at the dogs, so they've been playing with them. But the only thing that I'm a little hesitant about, I'm still kind of trying to work out on the pattern, is the embroidery. Because I hate when a pattern is like, and then you just embroider this thing on it. Like I want directions, but also like I literally just embroidered the word kimchi on. Like I don't know how to write that out any other way. Also, I did these 2 different ways. So this one, I just made the jar straight up, like all in orange. And then I made a band of white, sewed that on, and then embroidered the kimchi on there. This one, the white is like crocheted in. So I didn't make a separate band of white. The white is just like 4 rows of white added into the pattern, which I think I'm going to do this from now on. I like the look of this. This looks like better because you can kind of see it standing off like it's a label. I don't know if I want to take the time to do that and make sure the measurements are all right and the sewing and all that. It was just a pain in the butt. But so this is the pattern. This is one of the patterns that I'm going to be sending you. Also, if anybody else here wants some patterns to test out, because I need some pattern testers. I have a few things that I want to send to people. Oh, we don't have our rules list because we're not on friggin' we're not friggin' anyway. Ronald, the sewed on band does look better. I like the sewed on band because it's like you can see just a little bit that it's raised and not necessarily part of the thing, and so it looks like a thing. But yes, sewing, we all know I hate sewing and I did a good bit of sewing for these. So, but yeah, pattern testers, we'll make a section in the Discord maybe for pattern testing. That way I can get that out because I have a few other things that I'm trying to get pattern testers for. This is not one of them though. This is somebody else's pattern that I use. So because of everything going on, we don't have clean water. And you know what happens when you don't have clean water? You have to drink out of a lot of water bottles. Do you know what's useful when you have water bottles? A water bottle holder.
Cute.
I love how this one turned out. This is, as we know, my favorite Red Heart Super Saver favorite stripe.
Yep.
I had just a leftover like skein of this. So, but this pattern works up so easily. It's called What the Mesh water bottle holder on Ravelry. I can't remember the artist name, but it's called What the Mesh. But this like works up so quickly and easily. I got 2 of them. This one works up so quickly and easily that I made just literally so many of them.
Yeah, I feel like I want to have one of those for
the cruise
for vacation.
Where
I've thought about making one, and I'm like, but people don't really care.
This one has beads in it.
Oh, that is cute.
Yeah, I went and found some of my beads, and because I have a bunch of like pony beads hanging out. But I had to use my little like super tiny.
I'm with you, Ronald. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that's like. I don't know how she comes up with these ideas because I can't even pick a color to color a page that's not color by number. So I don't understand.
Well, when you're stuck at home, ooh, and Judy has an idea. What's your idea? When you're stuck at home and have nothing to do, and you have like 5 minutes at the church while you have Wi-Fi to copy down patterns. That's what happens. Oh, there's the rest of my scrubbies. And they were down in the bottom of the bag. So I have 2 more scrubbies. I didn't make very many of these because working with the scrubby yarn was wearing down my finger. I was like, oh, my mother is old and weak. I can work with the scrubby yarn. No, I kind of hate it. So that is that.
Oh! That is what you should do. I told you. Oh, that's a lovely cup.
I got coffee. This is my fill-in cup for until you get me my Moomin back.
Oh, you mean
and wearing sunglasses.
You mean your Moomin cup that is so happy in my cabinet?
I want my Moomin back.
And the sunglasses that have found friends on my table. There's 3 other pairs of sunglasses that it has made friends with.
Just send all 3 of them.
It may not want to leave.
Okay. No.
But yeah, that DeVal top. You the more you worked on it, you were going to hate that top.
Yeah.
Because when I started top and I feel like I hate it, then the more I work on it, I keep telling myself, well, maybe when I get past this part, it'll look more like what I thought it was supposed to look like. Maybe if I keep going, it'll look like I want it to look like, but it never does. What are you doing? Oh, your football.
Because it's football season.
You think I'm in big audience, but really I'm embiggening you for me so I can see it. But yes, cute.
I'm probably not going to make it.
You kind of need to work. Yeah, got to work on the shape a little bit.
Yeah, well, I was following a pattern and like this is where I started. And so it has a nice little dome. This part ends up very flat because when you're closing a circle, it closes pretty flat. So I think I might, because I didn't make this pattern, I followed a pattern. And so I think I might like add maybe a couple rows here to create the other end of the thing. We'll see. But so I've got a football. My dogs are probably gonna play with this. Though I don't know, I might put it on the table anyway. And I made, speaking of the beads, I made some cute little bracelets because once I took out the beads, I had to use the beads for things. So I made, look at these cute little bracelets.
Oh, cute.
And those beads glow in the dark.
Cute.
Yes, this one's all stars. I had to dig out.
Oh, I like the stars.
They were in a bag all jumbled, so I had to go in and fully separate the shapes and then separate the colors, and it was just...
Well, that gave you something to do.
It did. So, well, something to do while there was daylight.
True.
Yeah. Also, coming in clutch this during this power outage, my emergency light here. This light is so like this is the lower setting. I'm not turning this on my face because it's like extra bright. And it only uses 4 AA batteries. These emergency lights, these are lights that I got. Junie would recognize these lights. These are the lights that I use for my night markets. For when I need to like shine light down on my stuff and for my and when I'm doing face paint and stuff. So those, I'm so glad I had those because those came in clutch.
Yeah, that reminds me when the thing first happened and it's like you're without power and like thinking, okay, we need to get them a generator for Christmas and we need to get them a hand crank radio for Christmas and all this other stuff. And I'm like,
do it.
But this is a once in 100 years storm.
Do it.
This is never going to happen again. I'm going to buy y'all all this stuff and you're never going to need it.
I would rather have it than not need it. I would fully rather have it. Like we're right now not buying a lot of things because both of us are not in work and I don't have markets. Once everything gets back to close to normal, I have a closet right outside my office door that we are going to have lights. We are going to have batteries. We're going to have canned food. We're going to have, this was such a nightmare not having stuff and having so much to rely on other people to go get stuff. I want to be more prepared. Like we're going to have so many.
This storm is going to create a whole bunch of preppers.
It is. It absolutely is. But back to my things that I've been working on. Can we tell what this is?
Let me look.
Can we tell what this is?
See, at first I was gonna say is it a koozie, like a beer koozie?
It is. When
you were first holding it, I thought it was a pedicure sock.
Sock. Oh yeah, where it, like your like toes and heel are out or whatever.
Yeah. Lovely.
So
Lovely.
that is another easy pattern that I memorized after like the third time of making them. So I've got several.
Oh my goodness.
I've got several. It is giving by pride. So this is from the Red Heart Super Saver Favorite Stripe. This is a scrap. This is another. Also, this is a good scrappy project. We should have a video where we're just talking about scrappy projects. This was a good scrappy project. This is the Red Heart Super Saver Favorite Stripe, but it happened to fall right in the by pride colors, and I was like, "Go off!" It was so cute. So that's that. Are we ready to get into the hats?
Okay, before we get into your hats, let me show the one thing that I am making, that I am working on. I'm not done with it, and I already put it in the whip part of the Discord, but I've gotten a little bit more done since I posted that picture, which I finally found a place. Yeah, I know. I finally found a place to take pictures, decent pictures, but this is, I made the hat, and I showed that last time we had a video. I made the hat, and I still had the yarn left, so I said I'm gonna play some yarn chicken, and I'm gonna make my very first market bag. So I am making a market bag, and this is where I am so far.
Cute.
Oh, actually, I'm working on it this way because you actually start from the handles.
All the market bags that I've done have been the other way around. So I'm like working handle down.
Yeah, this one you start from the handles down, which is good because what I wanted to do was have the solid handles and then work the variegated yarn, and then hopefully I have just enough. Let me see.
Did you put the pattern in the Discord?
No, I have this much left of the solid, so I think this will be enough to do the bottom when I get to the bottom.
That's a very little amount. You are playing some serious yarn chicken.
And I have this much left of the variegated.
Mm-hmm. That's a good amount.
So yeah, so I think I'll make it through because
so the solid will be the very, very bottom.
The very, very bottom, like the last row. But I really am making it to use up both of these. But this pattern is 23 rounds. This pattern is 23 rounds, and I am on round 17.
Oh, okay. So you're close to being done.
Yeah, I'm close to being done.
Ronald is asking, is that the same market bag that Passionate Kelsey makes?
It is not. Okay. I actually bought the pattern.
Oh, not my mother.
I wanted to I couldn't find the pattern for it. So I just went with a different market bag. But I'm going to show it real quick.
Yeah, because I like the look of it so far.
Yeah, it's like there's like a solid stripe in the middle of it.
Uh-huh.
And it's a small bag. Has it come up?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can make that bigger. Okay. So, what am I doing? Can you see that better?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so you can see that there is like a solid stripe in the middle of it, which I've already done the solid stripe. It's a kind of a small bag.
Those mesh bags stretch out a lot.
Stretch, that's what I was about to say. It's supposed to stretch because if you as you can see, I've already done the solid stripe. This is the solid stripe right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm over halfway done with this bag, I feel like.
Yeah, because they also like had it looked like they had a bunch of like heavy, I don't know, fruits or something
Stuff
in the
in it
bag.
that made it
Yeah.
stretch. Yeah. So I only have roughly that much to do. And yeah, that solid yarn is going to be just like the very last row, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good
So,
size that you have though, because of the market bags that I've made. Because I had some that sold pretty quickly and then some that didn't sell super quickly. And so I used those to like help pack up stuff when I was at market. Like I would take a market bag and shove a bunch of stuffies in it. So it was easier to like throw in another bag and throw in the car or whatever. And those they will get very stretched out. And so you're starting with a good size, because once it gets stretched out and stops like shrinking back to its original size, I think it'll be a decent size.
Yeah. Yeah. And even though everything, and I'm using an acrylic yarn, I'm using Red Heart Super Saver, but I just keep thinking back to that video, the two videos I watched from that lady who did an extensive several weeks of, she had a cotton bag and acrylic market bag, and she used them and she washed them and she measured them before and she measured them after. It was a 2-part video. She took her time really testing out those bags, and the acrylic bag did just fine. And I have a bunch of acrylic, and acrylic is easier on my hands than doing cotton. So I'm
with you. I'm an acrylic girly.
But I have to, it's hard for me to make myself ignore the fact, because every time you look at a market bag pattern, it says cotton. Everybody does cotton. Everybody uses cotton. Just like with amigurumis, everybody makes amigurumis with cotton. And I'm like,
we don't have the rules up anymore. I will fully ignore the yarn material, the yarn size, the hook size. A lot of the time, I will fully ignore all of that. And like, this is what I want to make this out of. We're going to do it.
Yeah, I try to pay attention to some things. Like, you're not going to make a bathing suit out of full cotton, because the water is going to make the cotton droop. The water's going to make the cotton droop, and then it's going to hang over you, and it's going to take forever to dry. If you make even the dish scrubbies, you make them out of full cotton, those things sit there for 2 days to dry. So you want to make, if you're going to make it out of cotton, you're going to have to make a thin one. I made a thick double-sided one that had like scrubby yarn on one side and cotton on the other side, and it was real nice. That thing took 3 days to dry after it got wet. It was not useful at all because it took too long to dry. So so I do pay attention to material in certain things, but people who are like, oh, use wool instead of acrylic for a sweater, I'm like, I'm sorry, acrylic is cheap and comes in bright colors, which is what I like.
Exactly. That's the thing that I say to people all the time, because they're like, oh, why do you usually use acrylic instead of cotton? Because people ask me that at my table sometimes. Why do you use so much acrylic instead and not as much cotton? And I'm like, because cotton doesn't come in nice, fun colors. Cotton comes in like 12 colors maximum. Like, at least at Joann's, I don't see fun colors. If I go to Michael's, I'll find they've got the cotton like cakes that have the cute little ombre colors, but like I can never find like, also cotton's so much more expensive.
Yes, cotton and wool both are, natural fibers in general are more expensive than doing acrylic, and it comes in bright colors. So,
Ronald, what brand of yarn are you using while I'm moving on to my hats? Okay. Let's see. What am I? Sorry, I'm trying to grab them because I want to do them in an order.
Oh, that's right. He's using fluffy yarn to make his frosting.
Yeah, I want to know which brand he's using. Okay, so I have made some hats. These are all just like super simple beanies. So, because Joann's I think is still closed, and I am not driving out to homophobic Hobby Lobby right now. And we don't really have any money right now. So I'm going
you're
through
using up what you've got.
I'm using up that stash. Ooh, big twist. I don't know if I've used the big twist.
That's the Joanne. I haven't seen
Yeah.
I haven't seen the fluffy big twist.
Big twist
Big twist
plush.
plush.
Ooh, I need to check that out. Maybe I have some in the house. I don't know. I don't think I do though. But so this was a I thought I still had the little card here because this was a leftover from I want to say
That definitely looks like a Christmas hat without being
it
in
does.
your face Christmas.
It does, which
Yeah.
is not what I was going for. Because in certain lights, this looks more purple than it does red.
Mhm.
But in all of the studio lights that I have right now, it's
Mhm.
giving Santa Claus.
Mhm.
And then do we remember this color scheme?
Isn't that one of the retro stripe?
It's not.
It's not.
This is a color scheme that was made up all of my own. This is the color of yarn that I use for my hair. This is when I tell you, do I have it in here? Yes, I do. Okay. So I had measured out all of those strands for my hair, measured out so many, and then I didn't use all of them. And so I had all of this yarn sitting over there because I'm like, I'm not going to throw away this pile of yarn. And so one day, in desperation for something to do that wasn't what I was already doing because I was very frustrated because we had no power, I sat for several hours and tied all of these strands of yarn together.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to use. And so I crocheted a hat, and this is what's left. But this ball was so much bigger because I made a whole hat out of it. So
cool.
Yes. So it seems cool now. You should have seen me sitting in the middle of our floor tying strands of yarn together because each strand of yarn was only about this long.
So see, I don't have scraps like that. When I see people make a scrap blanket and I see them with that big ball of yarn where they tied all their scraps together, part of me is a little bit envious because I don't have scraps like that. All of my scraps are big, like that skein, that half a skein that I just showed you, that is like the smallest scrap.
Yeah, a lot of my scraps are bigger than that, which is why I don't normally do stuff like this. But because I had all that yarn left over from doing my hair, that was already pre-cut, I was like, okay, let me do this. Oh, we need to end at 12. Okay, so let me fly through these hats real quick. First of all, hat. This is a ponytail hat, so it's got a hole in it.
Messy bun hat.
Yes, it's a messy bun hat. And then I've got another messy bun hat that I put a hair tie in. And cute. I love this Fruity Pebbles color. Very cute. And then I made another Pokeball hat. Also, everything that I've showed you today, I have not weaved in the ends for anything because who can be bothered? I'll weave them in when I'm getting ready to sell something. I made another Pokeball hat that I need to sew my little Pokemon button onto. But I'm trying to make a couple more of those because I think those will go pretty well for Christmas for kids.
We're wrapping up, Ronald.
We are. I'm flying through. And then I made another ponytail hat. As you can see, this is the seam because your girl learned how to do some color work. Look at that.
Cool.
Yes, we need to find some more Rockies, but this is so
Faye. Oh, cute.
Yes. And this is going to be one of the patterns that I am sending for testing. Okay. Is this hat because I have since learned how to do the math to get like words and patterns to look decent on a hat. So we're going to end up with some beanies to test out. I've got let's see, this one.
Oh, cute NPC, cute
NPC hat. I feel like there were just too many colors in this one, but who knows? We'll see how it kind of shows up. Yeah, I feel like that light green was too light for that white down there, but
I don't know what that's supposed to say.
ABL for Asheville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I
thought it was AVL, but my brain didn't register what that's supposed to stand for.
If you lived up here, you would be seeing it everywhere. And then the final hat that I made, which I just made yesterday, made it in one day. I had to go in and manually, because those other things are like letters. And so it's pretty easy to like kind of make. I had to go in and manually create the pattern for this. Error 313 logo.
I saw that on the video, on the TikTok video, and halfway through the TikTok video, I said, I can figure out what she's making, the way she's turning it.
Yeah, I was trying to turn it so that it was kind of like showing inside out, but so I made the Air 313 logo. This is a very slouchy hat because the logo had to be kind of tall because I did it with double crochet. I'm going to try again with single crochet and see how it looks when it's a little bit smaller because I still have it. It's all in my stitch fiddle. But so I did this and I really like how the brim turned out with the white, red, blue, and black.
Yeah,
like
you did a good job. You did a good job on that.
And you can see the other ones. For the other hats that had the lettering, I would get to the end of the line and cut the accent color and go and start and add a new one and cut. This one I did because this hat's for me. I did not cut a thing.
You carried the yarn.
I did. I did not cut
floats.
You got
floats in there.
Floats all up in that hat, and then this is all the tail yarn for doing the brim because I did cut it when I got to the brim. But I got floats for days up in here because this is my hat, so I don't care. But yeah, I made this one in honor of the last episode of Error 313, episode 8. The last episode of Error 313 comes out this Saturday at 3 p.m. So everyone go, if you haven't caught up, go catch up and listen. If you're wondering, but Artemis, how many episodes are you in? All of them. Every single one. So if you're like, I don't want to listen to an episode without you, don't worry, babe. I got you. I'm in all of them. I'm there. Every single one. Go listen.
You're so full of yourself.
Go listen. Go. I want everyone to listen. It's so cool. And it sounds so all the sound editing they did was so professional. The writers are great. Thank you. Thank you. But I want everyone to go listen. It's a great show. It was very fun to work on. The people were amazing, even though I was like, I've never done this. What do I do? And everybody's like, your microphone's making a buzzing noise. And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, can you turn the knob on your microphone? And I'm like, my microphone was born knobless. So what do I do now? So they worked with me for all of the things. And it was just a fun endeavor that I want people to hear. I like this little, this little jazzy number.
This is the down tempo.
This feels like I'm a spy stalking someone. I put it over the headphones. It's so huge. I was able to put this hat on Wayne's big head. This hat.
Yeah, I saw it in the video.
Because for those of you who don't know, that boy has a noggin. But those are all the things that I made. Those hats, I only started making the hats in the last 4 days. I was able to knock out 2 or 3 hats a day because they're super easy. They're double crochet hats. I'm going to bring my yarn to work with me today and see if I can knock out some more hats because who's coming to shop at Party City right now? I don't know. Maybe we'll be super busy. Who knows? But yeah, that has been my last 2 weeks that everyone has missed because I had no internet.
Well, thank you so much to everyone for hanging with us and heralding Artemis's grand return. I don't know if we'll be here Friday.
We'll see. I think so. I need to figure out what's going on with this work schedule. Because like I said, this first week is going to be gung-ho, give me some hours. And then I should be able to shift back just a little bit.
So we may be here Friday playing our dailies. We may not be here. Who knows? But I will try to put, if we're going to be here on Friday, I will try to put the scheduled upcoming thing on the video beforehand, on the channel beforehand. So thank you for joining us. If you have made it this far, in the comments, put either in the live stream, or if you're watching this at a later date and you've made it this far, put what do you want to put in the?
I don't know. What if I put a water bottle? Put a water bottle. Put a water bottle for the 75 water bottles holders I made. I really like this one with the beads.
And all the water bottles that you still have around your house because of the storm. Put a water bottle.
My dogs are so fancy now, they drink bottled water. Because we can't give them water out of the sink.
So fancy. But yes, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you for coming back. And hopefully we'll see you on Friday. Bye, y'all.
Later. I can't end the stream. I need permissions.
Bye, y'all.